People, back at it again. The world is burning. If you're one of my 25 subscribers, shout out to you all. Or anyone just watching this video, you might have seen some of my previous ones. I believe the world is going to go through some hard times in 2024, 2025. And I really want to document the economic downfall. The house of cards is starting to fall all around us. And I think it's important to document these things. Today we are going to be looking at the cost of living. We're looking standard format, going on TikTok, watching some videos, giving some comments and reading the comments. Let's get into it.
Here are 3 more things I've had to give up as the cost of living has risen.
We're all giving it up.
For context, I am a full-time student, and for the past year and a half, I've done unpaid placement. It's taken about 2 to 3 days of my week. Other days of the week, I'm studying, so I have very little time to work, and so money is really tight. The first thing that I've completely cut out is drinking. Drinks are so expensive. I can't afford to buy my own drinks. Also, when you drink, you can't drive back home, so that means you might end up catching an Uber. Just have stopped drinking altogether because I just can't afford it, and by extension, I've stopped going out and hanging out with my friends. The other thing that I've cut out is...
Yeah, guys, it's sad but true. Drinking is so expensive these days, especially if you're going out to fancy places. If you're going to a dive bar, you might be able to do it on the cheap, or if you pre-drink like a student, maybe you can do it cheap, but how's your daddy here? $20 is the new $100. Preach, brother, preach, preach, preach.
I don't really get coffees much anyways, but when I do and I'm with my partner or my sister, instead of getting 2 small coffees, we'll just get a large one and split it. Otherwise, buying coffee for us individually is way too expensive. The third thing I've cut out is shampoo. It sounds really gross, but I think this applies to most of my beauty products, where I've been trying to minimize it because continuously replacing them is just way too expensive for me. So instead, I just use conditioner, and I don't wash my hair as frequently so I can make stuff stretch out a bit longer. I don't know why I'm embarrassed to say that, because I feel like people would judge me for it, but oh well. Here are 3 more things I've had to give up.
Jesus Christ. No judgment here, Aussie Psych student. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I quite like the tip of splitting a coffee. It's ridiculous. Starbucks, Costas these days, it's almost a non-starter for a lot of people. And I'm not judging you. Your hair looks lovely without the shampoo, so I think you're doing all right.
Can someone tell me what the hell is going on? I was away in Portugal for only 7 days, and I've come back to my country here, living in Belfast, and I feel like I'm being overwhelmed with culture shocks or something, even though I've only been away for a week. I've just done my grocery shop in Asda, and everywhere I look, everything's different. Literally.
Just going to stop this here. If you're a UK person and you experience Asda, I don't know what the hell is going on with the people running Asda, but they have forgotten their place in the world. It's not a Waitrose, it's not a fancy place, but they've got these prices now that they think that they're that. You're not. Know your place. You're a cheap, or supposed to be a cheap supermarket. Please go back to that way.
Things different. The meal deal section. Tell me something now. If you go to a meal deal and you pick a sandwich, you pick a drink, and you pick a snack, you assume to pay a meal deal price, don't you? But now it's buy 2 get 1 free, get the third one and the cheapest one free, and they've hiked the prices of the drinks up to £2.
I'm going to stop this girl again. Shout out Zoe, spitting facts. If anyone's watching my channel, you know the meal deal was a British staple, and they have absolutely fucked it up. They're charging way more for it now. You used to be able to get steals there. Sort it out, supermarkets. We need the meal deals back at £2.50, £3 max.
Sandwiches are £3 and the snacks are £1.50 or £1.60 or a complete variation depending on what you get. So the value there is completely gone. I thought a cost of living crisis meant that meal deals were supposed to be coming down. Then you go to the bacon and the sausages and everything's listed as an amazing price of 2 for £5, when actually if you buy 2 bits individually that aren't mixed and matched in the 2 for £5, it's actually about £4. Don't even talk to me about people's misery as well. I could not go anywhere in Portugal without people stopping me and congratulating me on my lovely 2 children that I've produced, telling me how beautiful and sweet they are and having conversation with me. Now you go through with a trolley that's rattling like it's about to literally lose the wheels, and people are looking at you like you're completely inconveniencing their day for even being in the supermarket. I also don't know why I sound completely Belfast at the minute. I think really strong Northern Irish accents come out on me whenever I'm angry. My house is an absolute bomb as well, so I need to go home and tidy that while my dog...
Yeah, we'll leave this one here, but Zoe's going through it right now. She's feeling it. Give her a follow. She seems like she's got her head switched on and she knows exactly what's going on right now. We all feel it, Zoe.
All these people out here, and they're like, oh, Japan is so expensive, but at least they live in 2050! But in reality, it's kind of the opposite of that. It's more like Japan is very cheap.
Just gonna have to stop this here. Sort that facial hair out, brother. You can't be having half a mustache and half a goatee. I'm pretty sure that's what he's got going on. It's hard to watch videos when people have crazy facial hair like that.
And it feels like the 80s or 90s. And it's one of the nicest things about the country is that, wow, you can actually afford to live. I can go get a part-time job and work 28 hours a week and be able to cover all my living expenses. Isn't that fucking crazy? You might be a dead person, there might be a ghost haunting it. You might get a ghost apartment, but isn't that fucking badass? You got a fucking ghost living in your apartment. You'll never be lonely, dude. You'll never be fucking lonely. Maybe the work culture sucks and maybe all of that, but
sorry guys, I don't pre-watch any of these videos. This is just, I'm watching these the first time as you. I can't watch any more of this guy's facial hair. I'm sorry.
I just don't want to do this anymore. It's so cold in here, as you can see. I'm wrapped up in a duvet. My son's got like 3 different layers on, just trying to stay warm because it's so cold in here.
Watching that woman's video.
I'll skip this one because we did it on a previous one, but I always hate seeing that video of that woman crying in a Western world. That's one of the richest countries in the world, apparently. We shouldn't be having mothers crying on the sofa because they can't afford to heat the house. It's ridiculous. Absolutely insane.
Okay, don't get jumped. Okay, don't get jumped.
But officer,
officer,
I bet you're going to give me
Call me sergeant.
Sergeant, I bet you're going to give me some...
No, call me general.
General. I bet you...
No, call me chief.
Bitch, I bet you'll give me some cheese and crackers. Oh.
Yeah, we're all going through it. This girl's trying to have a bit of a funny TikTok about it. There's so much. It feels like every other week there's a new thing going on. Just to distract you almost. But yeah, we have this cost of living thing that's just bubbling all the time. When you see a new war coming out, you see something else. You can't forget about the day-to-day life you've got going on and how rough it is.
I have managed to make myself super depressed today. I figured, well, if I'm miserable, I'm going to spread my misery and I'm going to make you depressed too. Although it's probably not going to make you depressed because it probably only applies to me. Although I'm sure there's some people that can relate to this situation, right? Anyway, so all I've ever wanted my whole life is just for a house. To own my own house for, you know, me.
It's tragic. I'm going to pause this one here. I'm sorry if I keep pausing them all, but I just can't stop myself. Yeah, in the UK and in America as well, I've noticed this. People's dream is to just buy one house. That is the dream. And that's so unattainable these days. It literally is unattainable. Like, how sad is that? Your dream is to own a house, and you can't do that. I mean, back in the day, when things were so much cheaper and in line with wages, they'd be like, why can't you get a house? It's easy to get a house. Yeah, it was easy to get a house back then, but now, everyone's being squeezed left, right, and centre.
Children to grow old in. You know, in this fucking economy, and the area that I live in is ridiculously expensive. It's absolutely fucking atrocious. Just so you get the idea, I live in a rather small 2-bedroom maisonette above someone else. I do have a garden, but that costs £1,400 a month. Because Brighton and Hove is ridiculously expensive.
Very expensive.
Anyway, back to my point. All I've ever wanted is to own a home, right? And I was thinking, it would take us fucking ages to save up for a multitude of reasons. You know, we have 3 kids, another one on the way. Our rent is sky high. It's impossible to fucking save. You know, we can't get a council house or anything like that. We privately rent. My fiance has worked full-time for the last 14 years in the same place. So I thought I would do a little bit of math today. And so we've been privately renting for 6 years now, and I was like, hey, I wonder how much it would be if I added up all the rent we had ever paid in that last 6 years. Do you know what it came to? Almost £65,000. Almost £65,000. So in the area that I live in, to buy a house is also extortionately, ridiculously priced. The average 3-bedroom property where I live is about £500,000.
Yeah, she's not lying here. If you want a bit of a either depress yourself or a bit of a laugh, whichever way you want to look at it, go on Rightmove, go on Zoopla, and look at Brighton and Hove housing. Just see how expensive it is to buy a place down there. I'm sure this three-bedroom house she was looking at wasn't even that nice. £500,000. Like, how do you even save up a deposit for that?
Yes, I know. And that's not even for a posh 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
That's for like your bog standard average one.
Yeah, average house.
But go and buy the whole like 10% deposit thing, right? That's £65,000 over the last 6 years that we've spent on rent.
And a 10% deposit, that's what people say over here. You want to go for a 10% deposit to put on a house. That's 50 grand on a 500 grand house. You need to be putting more than that down for a £500,000 house. So you're never going to get the thing paid off, and the interest you're going to pay is just silly. So yeah, we gotta do something with the housing crisis in the UK.
If we had saved that instead, we would have been able to put a deposit down on a house. And it just makes me sad because I think my children are never going to have a permanent home to live in. We're always going to be renting. And as we know from last time we rented somewhere, not this property, the one we were in before, they just kicked us out. They just kicked us out for no apparent fucking reason, and we were homeless for like 6 weeks before we found this place. But at this rate, saving up and stuff like that, it'd probably take us about 10 years if we even managed that.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to renting, you know, there are good pros to renting, but one of the big cons is you can't ever feel like you're fully situated in a place because they can just come and kick you out or say, oh, the rents are increasing, or oh, we're selling the house, you need to get out. So, yeah, it's rough out there, Shout out Elise Virgo.
Okay, since my last video just blew up, I'm going to talk about 3 more things I've had to give up as the cost of living has increased. For context, I am a 23-year-old psychology master's student and I've been doing unpaid placement for 1.5 years, which has significantly reduced my income, so money's really tight. The first thing that I've given up is variety in my food. I literally eat the same things on rotation, so every time something runs out, I can just kind of replace it and have a continuous supply of the same meal, which reduces my food wastage. The second thing I've given up is olive oil.
See, I'm a bit of a health guy. When it comes to my oils and foods and things like that, I can't give up my extra virgin olive oil. Shout out Aussie Psych student. We had her in a previous video. Sounds like she's going through it. But at least she's got this mindset of I will cut back instead of I will get a credit card to pay for this. So yeah, big shout out Aussie Psych student. She's got her head screwed on. Really got her head screwed on, this girl. Just wish she had more money.
Like other vegetable oils to cook my
things were
food,
cheaper.
which isn't like the healthiest thing ever, but again, like I don't really have the spare cash to spend like $12 on a bottle of olive oil that won't last me very long. The third thing I've given up is my iron supplements. So this goes for any supplement, really. It's just way too expensive to be spending $40 on supplements. I'm just going to hope that my iron levels don't drop too low by the end of the year, and then when I get a full-time job next year, then I can get my iron back up. I have a lot of people like criticizing me for spending money on like the gym or like my subscriptions, like my Spotify subscription. Those things are really essential in my life as well, and like what I choose to spend money on is based on my values. Like I literally have a podcast of my own, so I kind of need a Spotify subscription to be able to view my own podcast. So I'm not gonna not pay for that.
Yeah, shout out this girl. You know what? We're giving her a follow. Yeah, iron supplements. We got Rosie Barr in here. Iron supplements are so damn expensive. I'm risking anemia, but my God. Also can't afford melatonin. Yeah, these are the things that the prices will go up, and it's things people need as well. Like women are chronically iron deficient. A lot of women. And now they have to choose between anemia or spending $40 on some iron supplements. It's just brutal.
Is anyone here affording to live, laugh, and love in this economy? Or
Very few people are.
am I just like stupid with my money? Like, tell me why I was at the grocery store for an hour last week throwing things in and out of my cart because I was like, do I really need this? Do I need that? Can I afford it? Should I buy it? Like, do I need it? I had to downgrade my membership for my workout classes, okay, which is like a first world problem, but I really had to downgrade significantly from 12 classes to 4 classes in order for me to still afford it. I'm reusing Ziploc bags like crazy. And I know that's probably what I'm supposed to be doing for the environment anyways, but I'm washing it, drying it, and using it like crazy. I literally cannot stand the thought of an Uber ride over $15. I don't know why it costs $23 to go 1 mile nowadays. And I seriously don't know when I'm ever gonna be able to afford a car, pay gas, insurance, everything. So I am always taking the free bus. I literally just like, groceries are so expensive that I am stretching food to the max. And like, I know this is a good thing, okay? You don't want to waste food, everything, but I'm literally stretching it. I'll keep like the tiniest bit of potato and be like, what can I make with this tiny bit of potato? And make something. I literally never go out. I get FOMO, but I say, no, I'm not going out because I have PTSD from sometimes when I just like go out, go hard and spend like $200. I cannot afford that shit. If I forget to bring lunch to work, like, I'd literally rather starve. I am not buying $12 for a tiny ass like sandwich or salad. And I know this is a good thing, you know, you're spending less money, whatever, but the thing is, I am grateful that I have a job and like apartment and everything, but I used to make so much less, and I swear to God, my quality of life used to be much better, and I was living, laughing, and loving. Now
Yeah, I've been hearing this a lot. People saying when I was on a lower wage, I was living better. And I think that probably is the case for a lot of people. Lifestyle creep's a legitimate thing. We have Mimi here in the comments. Jemmy, my rent just went up $400, but I can't afford to move. I'm in the same boat. Honestly, we're going to start seeing a lot of things like this. I think this girl, a bit like the psychology student previously in Australia, she's got her head screwed on. She's not going into debt and whatnot, and she's trying to actively cut back. So she's got her head screwed on. Katsu girl, and I had to start paying back my student loans again. Yeah, my American followers, my American viewers, the student loans are coming back and they're going to bite you in the ass. So be prepared for them. Be prepared for them. We'll do one more and then I'll get out.
Cost of living crisis because of inflation, which Australian Donald Trump, Mark Boris, says was caused by governments putting too much money into the economy. What Marky Mark actually means is the $40 billion in JobKeeper that went to his corporate friends who lied about their profits and are now price gouging the Australian public out of their livelihoods. He won't say that though because he's at the same cocktail parties as those CEOs. And then the RBA governor's genius solution, what he gets paid $1 million a year for, is not to bother calling out these companies who are using their profits and are making a lot of money for shareholders but are adding to the cost of living crisis. What his solution is, average Australians must sacrifice their wages and houses in order to save the economy that governments and corporations fucked up. Cost of living.
Yeah, that's a good one to end it on. I've been saying this for a while. The price gouging is real. All these government officials and all these private CEOs and the people running the industry, they're all colluding. They're all getting kickbacks. The money flows up. So when the countries print loads of money, start handing out all this government money, you are paying for that. The taxpayer is paying for that, and it's going into debt, government debt. And then they pass it on. And it flows up, people spend it, it goes all the way up, or it goes directly to these companies. It's just not good. It's daylight robbery. So yeah, leave me a comment where you are in the world, what location you're at. You know, I want to know about your cost of living. How are you feeling it? Have your groceries gone up? Has your car insurance gone up? Leave me where you're at and how you're finding it right now. And give us a follow. Hopefully we get to 30 subscribers. You could be in the elite 30. See you later, guys. Bye.